and it said Stillwater, Oklahoma. So I pull it out, and there's this note that says, "Hope you like being a Polk fan, John S." So John, the only person I could think of is John Smith sent this to me after the Iowa Penn State duel.
Yeah.
I sent a picture of it to my buddy Bill in Cedar Rapids, and he called me like 10 seconds later and goes, "What is wrong with you? Why would you do that?" I said, "Well, they're the only undefeated team left besides Penn State."
Times are changing, you
Yeah,
got
they
to
are. I
adapt.
like the Pokes.
Yeah, especially, they're looking pretty good going into that duel at the end of the month or whatever,
Yeah, awesome.
against the Hawkeyes. I mean,
Yep.
Iowa look like they battled hard against Penn State, but they're just not good enough to beat them.
No, that's so true.
Yeah,
But it is
um,
how it is. Let's talk
it
high
is how it
school.
is. Yeah, we're here talking high school wrestling. The state tournament starts tomorrow. Um, just from the NIC-10 conference, Hononegah is sending 8, and Rockford East is sending 5. So from the conference, we could always do better, but still, it's going to be exciting for the NIC-10. Like those guys that are going down for Hononegah and East are going to have opportunities to bring back some hardware. So do you look at the brackets at all?
Oh
And have
yeah,
you,
I
yeah.
look at
So what do
everything.
you, yeah, okay. So let's talk a little bit of the bracket.
Well, first of all,
Uh,
let's talk this though. First, Hononegah
okay.
had 9 state qualifiers. Okay,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Angelina, don't forget
Yeah.
her. Cassiope. So there's 9 state qualifiers. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. That is a good year for the program
Yep.
to,
And it's Tyler's first male state qualifier since he's been head coach. So it's good for
yeah.
Tyler to get that. And another thing too, before we go on, Gene Lee, it's absolutely awesome that you got 5 guys at state. Gene Lee is the reason there's wrestling in Rockford. If Gene Lee was not around, wrestling would just not be what it would not be where it is. And he helps everybody. He helps everybody in the conference. He's a great man.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely the Rockford schools would be, unst more unstable
Yes.
than they are. But yeah, so Hononegah is really cool that they have so many qualifiers and all of them are coming back. So that's pretty impressive as well. Now the bracket breakdown for some of these guys, tough draws. I mean, Rocco kind of has a difficult side. If he gets to the state championship, he earns every ounce of it.
Everybody. Yep.
And so yeah, he has a tough kid. I think he's a number 6 ranked kid from Belleville West, maybe a Southern kid that just hasn't had too much competition, but still he's a ranked athlete, pretty good first round. And then the winner of that feeds into um, um,
Rocco Hayes.
Rocco Hayes, the Sandberg kid, who's I don't know, top 5, top 10 in the country. Beat him at the Super 32, or was it Super 32 or the duel? I think it was Illinois Matman duel that he lost to him at.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, just the most difficult path you could ask for. But Rocco, and he's a Cassiope, and so I think he's prepared mentally and should be ready to go. So I'm still excited for it. It's just he's gonna have to show up right away and not let off the gas. So
You know what's so great about that though is when he stands on top of that podium, what he's going to do, he's going to earn it, like truly earn it. He's going to go through the gauntlet. Well, it's the state tournament. I don't care
yeah,
where it is, where it is. There's going to be upsets, and there's going to
yeah,
be a bunch of kids who thought they were going to place, don't place. But there's nothing better than the high school state tournament in Illinois.
yeah. No, absolutely. So going into the next Cassiope, Bruno, I like his spot. I think obviously he won the sectional, so that's a good thing, and he put himself in position that if he does everything he has done all year, he should be able to put himself in the semifinals and have a good match there. And as a freshman, that's pretty impressive.
It's
So
very both those guys. Yeah, it's awesome. You know
yeah,
what?
and then
You know what else too? They're great kids.
yeah,
They are. I mean, it's awesome.
yeah, and just trying to find the weight class, but I know this one is. I mean, we talked about it a little bit on the phone, but that Robert Darling. So you didn't get a chance to go to the sectional tournament, but this kid shows up not as a regional champ and wins the sectional. Last year he kind of did the same at the conference. I didn't know who that kid was. He shows up at the conference, wins the conference tournament. This year he wrestles Donald Cannon, loses to Donald Cannon, who's really tough from East. And yeah, so yeah, what do you think about it? I mean, I keep saying it. I think that kid is secretly that Hananiga athlete. He's that Hananiga kid you don't really expect to do much, but he always surprises you and
Well,
does better than everybody
let me
else.
put something to you here, okay? The reason he is where he is because of TJ Silva. Because
Yeah.
usually, especially at Hananiga, if there's somebody good, whoever's next to them are good too, because they're getting their ass beat every day by him, and they get better and better and better and keep coming back. And he has gotten better. When I saw he won in the semis, I'm going, oh my God, he's going to go to state. And then I checked a little bit later. I'm like, oh my God, he won the sectionals. But
Yeah.
if you watch him, he's got that demeanor. I mean,
Yeah.
he's got that look of a wrestler, and it's awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what Hananiga is right there. That is
Yeah.
what it was when I was there. Kids just
Yeah.
get better and better.
I would agree. Like, going into that next, well, so actually TJ's at 132, Robert Darling's at 38. But, TJ, from the time that I went to the practice, you could see that everybody fed off each other. Everybody was battling each other and
Mm-hmm.
pushing each other to get better. So, TJ, he won sectionals as well. He's the number 2 seed at the state tournament. He's on the bottom side. He's gonna have a difficult path. He's gonna have to wrestle the winner. Now, I don't know who is going to win in the match above him, but the Parisi from Yorkville has been ranked, top 5 all year. So that's going to be a challenging match. They would have saw each other at the Sycamore tournament, but that was when I think TJ was still up at 38, not down to
Yeah,
32 yet. And Parisi lost to Donald Cannon in the semis of that tournament. So it didn't happen that they wrestled yet, but that kid's pretty good. And so that'll be another, challenging matchup, but TJ is looking better than ever. So I think he's set up, ready to go. So,
yeah,
yeah,
he's the real deal. He's such a great kid too. He's good for the program. It's awesome. Like most
yeah,
every other of those Silva, they're all good. Manny and Fernie, they were great.
yeah, absolutely. And then the other one, that I was, not surprised, but happy to see. I knew that he was going to be one of those ones on the boundary, that Max Haskins. To see that he got through was a pretty positive thing. You told the story about when you met him and everything like that earlier in the year, and it's paid off. So, as he's a junior, so he's got 1 year after this. This would be a great experience for him to get down there and try to make a name for himself and find a way on the podium. Right. Once you get down there, you can make it happen. You don't have to be
Oh
ranked, or you
yeah,
don't have to be the guy. You can find a way to get your spot.
yeah.
So.
So earlier this year, my wife and I, Marianne, we were at Fibs having lunch, and in comes walking Mac Haskins, and he must have been working with his dad, and he came in to have lunch, and we're talking and stuff, and I said, "Okay, football's just around the corner. Are you about ready?" He goes, "Marty, I'm not going to play football this year." And I'm going, "What?" He's a pretty damn good football player. I'm going, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I'm really going to focus on wrestling." Well, he focused on wrestling, all right. He's made leaps and bounds, and he's just
Yeah.
one of those other Hananiga kids that are just tough, grind it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's an intense competitor. He's always wrestling really hard, and he's figured out how to keep that as an advantage. So,
Yeah,
um, again, I think that definitely helps at the state tournament when guys are coming into, whether it's a wrestleback match or even the first round and not really ready to go, and somebody pushes them and breaks their
yeah,
mental. So, yeah, but then going into 157, Brody Sandell. Now Brody lost a close match to the number 1 ranked kid from Gurney, and that kid's very impressive. And so, Brody going to the state tournament, he definitely has. I don't know if you saw this bracket, but his first match is with Luke Hamidi, brother of Dean Hamidi. He's a returning state finalist from Joliet Catholic. I watched him wrestle earlier in the year. He's pretty tough. Um, so yeah, again, not the easiest draw to start your high school state tournament, but if you're gonna get to the end, it doesn't matter. You got to beat them all. So um, yeah, hopefully he can step up and be ready to go right away and see how that goes, huh?
Yeah, sometimes people forget that he's only a freshman. He's wrestling 157 as a freshman. Those guys at 157 to 160 to 175 are men. They usually shade before they weigh in and stuff. Brody's just a freshman.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's going to make some noise down there. From watching him for the last 2 years, like in kids club and stuff, I think he's got a special talent, and he's very, very, very good at hand fighting and wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that kid. He's got a bright, bright future.
Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah, it's definitely going to be a, a fun match regardless that
Oh yeah.
that weight class is a tough weight class. And then 165 Connor Demo, he did not win sectionals, right? What
No,
did he?
he took third, right? I think he lost in the semis.
Okay. Okay, he qualified though. His matchup, I guess he's supposed to have a couple tough matchup right away too. So yeah, I mean, he's looked good all year, so he should be all right going into the state, series or the state tournament just in general. Just he's gonna have to win close matches to get to the podium and yeah, I don't really know who the favorite is in that weight class.
Yeah, he comes from a
He's-
wrestling family. I think they had three sons that came through our program, and he's the last of them. And usually, what happens, the last is the best because they start when all the other brothers do. And he's done. I was impressed with him at regionals of his offensive attacks on his feet.
yeah. Well, yeah, so he has a Joliet Catholic kid too. So they don't duel those guys in the year, huh?
No, I don't know. Yeah,
That would be a
they
nice
need
one
to
to
find a
have.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, just to get that matchup.
Yep.
Maybe even if I mean, I wonder if they had it at the Dvorak. No, they weren't at the Dvorak this year.
No.
Joliet Catholic's no longer at the Dvorak. Yeah, you wish you see some of these matchups earlier, but I'm not really sure if they have or not. But yeah, he'll feed into um Glenbard West, Colin Kerrigan. So that kid's pretty good too, 41, 42-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be yeah. I mean, like I said, we're gonna go through these brackets. These are tough brackets, right? So as you get up in these weight classes, but there's a lot of this kid that he's wrestling has 15 losses, and he's good, right? So
Mhm.
it's like some of these teams are getting a lot of losses, but you can't you can't sleep on them because they're tough programs.
I mean, I'm
And then the last one,
going through the
go
bracket,
ahead.
so there's not many kids that are undefeated in
No.
3A. I mean, I went through them, and there's like maybe a couple is all,
Yeah,
but
and I think that's honestly just, a real testament to the coaches of the programs. Like I think they all know that like, the best teams are going to be the ones that go to the best
yeah.
tournaments to put themselves in those situations. And, since that's happened, some of these places, the only ones that are undefeated, I've seen some undefeated people, but they're almost always from the South, people
Right.
that really travel up and, um, you gotta find people that can beat you so
Yeah,
that you
like I
can get
used to
better.
say as a coach, if somebody goes undefeated, it's my own fault,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. You gotta find good competition to test yourself.
Yeah.
Um, and then the last guy from Hononiga is a 175 pounder, Kurt Smith. Glad to see that he got through, and yeah, just glad to see that he found a way to qualify. I know he was always one that I looked at when I watched him at the Dvorak and a couple other places. He would be in the match and then he could find himself out of the match. So I didn't really know how he's going to respond. But yeah, 8 qualifiers,
With
all
Kurt too,
underclassmen.
people forget that last year at the Whitewater tournament, he broke his arm in half, and he was
Oh, I remember
and he
that.
was in a brace. I mean, in a cast forever, and he's a really good football player too at Hononegah. Same with the Demo kid. He's tougher than hell. But he didn't have any off season because he was in a cast, and he didn't wrestle again until I think the season started. So, and there was times that he wasn't sure if he was going to even wrestle again because, I mean, snap your arm in half and you love football, sometimes but he stayed with it, and I'm so proud of him.
Yeah.
He's done a good job.
Those guys did a great job this year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Hananiga team is set up to really. I don't know what the record is for how many placers you guys have had in a single season.
3.
But this is definitely an opportunity for them to break records.
Did you hear
I
me?
think 8.
3.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah. They're gonna break it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I'm pretty sure 8 qualifiers is definitely the largest in one team.
Yeah, we had 7 qualifiers and 2 guys finished third back in the day, or finished fourth. I mean, back when we were rolling along pretty good. We had 2 guys that finished fourth, but that was before 3 classes.
Yeah.
It was tough. You can attest to that, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think some of these guys for sure it wouldn't have mattered, but yeah, I can definitely say the top 3 getting out of sectionals is just a different dynamic, it's just I mean, I don't really have an opinion whether it's good or bad, but like you had to get third. You couldn't get fourth. You didn't get to kind of just have an off match on the backside. You had to win out in order to get to the state tournament. And I only had to do that one time, but it was important. It was a tough one to do. So yeah, I mean, I think that they're set up to have a good state tournament. I looked at the East brackets. I don't know if you looked at those, but a couple of them have the number 2 seed right away, and they feed into the number 3 seed. But I do think Donald Cannon, the 132 pounder, has the best opportunity to get to the semifinals, and if he gets to the semis, he's going to be primed to get to the finals, because
that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, he's good enough to get there. It's just when you wrestle those semifinal matches, it's going to come down to a takedown, and who's in the right position at the right time to capitalize and stuff. So, I think Lee Smith, unfortunately for him, obviously no different than Rock. He's in the same position as Rocco. So if he wins his first round, he goes into the number 1 seed. And again, if you're going to win the state tournament,
beat him, right?
It doesn't matter when you wrestle them.
No.
So it will be just that first quarterfinal match. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I think I'm going to go down. I'll be down there Friday and Saturday. No, I know I'm going to be down there Friday and Saturday, but after looking at the schedules and stuff, knowing that the 1A and 2A quarterfinals are all on Thursday night, it's like, I thought for a moment, I don't know why I didn't look this up to double check, but I thought all the quarters were on Friday. But actually they split it so that the single A and the 2A quarters are on Thursday night, tomorrow night.
So, and then the quarters for the 3A. Yeah, it's kind of unique that they're doing it that way. You'd think you'd have all the quarters on Friday morning.
Well, yeah, this has been a hot topic since they changed it. But when they went to 3 classes, they staggered the quarters so that they could have them all, like, I don't know what the reasoning was for it, but time and then like space on the mat. But when I was in high school, they had the quarters on Friday night, which was awesome because the most people that you could possibly get came. Friday night quarters were
unbelievable,
electric. Yeah,
it was.
And knowing that the quarters, advance you to the semifinals means you place in the state tournament, and then 2, that semifinal round on Saturday was intense too. Whereas now, the semifinals, I believe, are on the Friday night. So then you have a whole entire day to basically sit around and stuff. So,
which isn't healthy, especially for kids that got to make weight. It's better to stay busy.
Well, make weight when? You mean on Tuesday?
No, you got to make weight again on, so if you don't do anything on Friday, hardly at all, right?
Well, some guys, they'll only wrestle one time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like that wrestling one time a day. I wish they'd wrestle 2 times at least a day. But who cares what I think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be better from a fan perspective to have the quarters at a time where everybody could come and all of the quarters happening at the same time.
Right.
Yeah, I just, yeah. I mean, again, I don't know why. I know the reasoning behind why they changed it, but again, it could be done better.
Well,
But
their biggest problem is they can't fit 8 mats in there.
yeah,
But it's a great
yeah. I mean,
environment. It's a great environment. It's the best place to have it.
yeah. And you know how they roll the sides down? I think they asked this question if they put those up, whether or not they could still get. I don't think they could get 8.
I
I
don't think
think
they
even
can. Yeah.
yeah, even when they put the mats the stands down, that they still don't get
That
8.
place
But
was made
it's
for
great.
basketball, not for high school.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wrestling.
It's crazy to think that the BMO Center in Rockford has a better floor
Right.
space than that.
Yeah.
It's like, I think that's what I was just saying. Like the IKWF state tournament has 12 mats. I think 10 or 12 mats
Hmm.
at on the floor at one time. So it's like, yeah, the high school state tournament could have a better layout, but oh well.
But it's a great
Um,
venue though.
yeah,
And
and it
Champagne's
should
great.
be
I mean,
yeah, it should be an exciting weekend. There's a lot of tough matchups.
yeah.
Um, so I'm excited to get down there and see it. And I wanted to get you on and talk a little bit, but yeah. What else you got? You
I got
thinking
beautiful day.
yeah.
I'm without a phone. I'm back to the 1970s. I don't have a
Yeah, but
phone. Two my beautiful phone systems. Two of them, my first one broke, second one broke, third one broke.
you gotta stop throwing
And now
those
they
things.
and now the phone companies, you got to go through all these authentications or whatever they're called because they're worried that you're stealing them.
Yeah.
And then you're selling them. So I'm supposed to get some sort of buy slip in another day, which does. But I'm probably the best person to have a lost phone because I really don't care about it.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
wife,
No, everybody
Mary Ann, would be losing her gourd right now if she didn't
yeah.
have her phone.
Yeah. Well, she just take yours.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just
She'll
had
just
her
take
text a
yours.
few people, like 4 people. Hey, Marty doesn't have a phone.
Yeah. Well, then I'll just make sure and get a hold of her on Friday when I'm down and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's the state week. We'll
It's
be
awesome.
down there. I'm gonna put this out right away. And anybody who's listening, we'll be covering as much as we can, try to get down there and talk about the rounds after each round and everything like that. So um yeah, just stay updated with the page. And if you didn't get to go down to the state tournament, we'll try to keep you updated
Not
as
in it,
best as we
and
can.
not just the NIC-10. It's everybody. All the Class A, 2A schools in Northern Illinois. We're going to keep track of you.
Yeah, and did you I know I posted some
Yeah,
stuff. Did you get to see any of those results from the the 1A and
yeah.
2A
I
sectionals?
I would look at everything, Dalton.
Yeah.
I
Well,
got all the time in
Rochelle, I
my
mean,
hands.
yeah, I mean Rochelle has some guys that are really
Yeah,
going to be in a situation to try to win, and they've got one seed, I think a 3 seed. Obviously, they seed the sectional champions.
mhm.
Um, they had a kid that didn't qualify. I was really surprised that didn't, but and then yeah, 1A. It was a good sectional. It was fun to watch. There's some wild matches. Um, there was a Lena match with a kid who won in double overtime, and it was pretty impressive the way he won. The guy had double he was underneath. He chose down. The guy had two double boots in, um, and the guy still got out. So it
Really.
was wild. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That sectional is nothing's even close to it in 1A.
yeah,
Just a
yeah.
powerhouse.
It's definitely a challenging
Yeah,
section. So, but
awesome.
yeah, they're all going to be down there, and hopefully people can come back with some hardware,
Yeah,
and
and
we
then
can
after
talk
that,
about
well,
that.
Tuesday we'll get together again for the dual
Yeah,
sectionals.
Tuesday. Yeah, that will be the next thing up. We will be at Hananiga on Tuesday, uh, February 20th for team sectional, and yeah, the season continues for Hananiga regardless of how everyone does this weekend. So it'll be nice to see them battle after the weekend. So
Yeah, and people also got to realize too that there's 4 teams there. It's not just East and Arlington Heights, Hersey. It's also what is it Libertyville and
Well, you said
Prospect?
East.
What?
You said East. You not just Hononiga
But it's
and
Arlington Heights,
Hersey.
Hersey,
Yeah,
and as well as
Libertyville versus Prospect.
Prospect. Yeah, so there's 4 teams there, and whoever wins goes on to the quarterfinal state tournament. So it should be a great crowd.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna have a lot of people, not just from
The area.
people, not from the area that are going to the Hononiga support. But again, if you're Belvedere, Harlem, or anybody in the NIC-10 conference and want to watch Hononiga wrestle, come out and support. Find a purple shirt. If you need one, Marty's probably got an extra.
Yeah,
And
I only got about 100 of them.
yeah, and support the team.
And you know what else too is I think they're going to have it in the old gym too, which will be awesome.
Yeah.
Hopefully they will.
Yeah, it just depends on how many people actually they're expecting from Libertyville and Prospect. But
pack it up, man. Get the crowd going.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, I won't spend too much time, but I was talking to Andrew, the athletic director, and he said there are rules as to how you can like how you can put on the event, like certain music, or you can't do certain entry. Like he was telling me how basketball you can't have a certain like you have to do it a certain way, like basically to eliminate like biases or something like that. Where you and I were talking about this, I feel like the sectional dual meet should be like home field advantage on a football game, right? Like you should be somebody should get home field advantage. I don't know how you figure that out, but like, whoever is wrestling Hononiga should come in to hostile territory.
Yeah.
Because that makes it even more exciting, right? So yeah, but we'll be there. It'll be a fun night.
Oh, it'll be awesome.
And hopefully those guys can win as a team and get down to the state tournament as a team. So
that'd be awesome. Cool.
But yeah, all right, man.
We'll see you on Friday.
For jumping on. Yeah, I'll see you.
I'll be down there Thursday.
I'll see you
tomorrow.
Friday.
Cool.
All righty. You make sure and keep me updated.
I will.